Hello, sisters out there. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Martin? I see you, John Hancock down there. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sister. We got a nice show for you tonight. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got a hot topic tonight. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. My brothers and sisters out there, those of you that are here tonight, go ahead and grab your bag of popcorn and soda, courtesy Sister Flo Harvey Martin. How you doing, Sister Deborah D. Scott? How you doing? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sister. Come up close to the front. Get you that seat. Grab that bag of popcorn and soda so we can get into this good topic tonight. If this is your first time, my brother and sister, seeing me on the live show, thank you for setting aside some time, and you had a good position, my brother and sister. Come on up. We got some front seats out there. Come on. Come up close. Got some good content for you tonight. How you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? My brother and sister, let me tell you this. If this is your very first time, I want you to understand what you're about to be exposed to. You're about to be exposed to a topic about relationships. I know this is nothing new, my brother and sister, but I've especially talk about relationship basically only between a man and a woman, basically, and I come from a biblical standpoint. When I say a biblical standpoint, that's the position I come from. Now, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I encourage you to stay here so you can watch this content and maybe you can get something out of it. But when I say biblical, I'm talking about in God's word, God created the man first. He had a unique relationship with the man. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman. He brought the man and woman together. And at that particular time, the man said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman, that man being Adam and that woman being Eve. And so it was. So how you doing, Sister Connie? How you doing, Mother? You all come on in. Come on in. We got a good topic tonight. So my brother and sister, like I said, if you don't believe strictly in a relationship between a man and a woman, you have your free will. You can exercise your free will how you choose to. But I want you to, maybe you can learn something by looking at this content. Now, with that said, we're about to jump into this content for tonight. The content, my brother and sister, is when you're in a relationship with someone that only wants to have sex with you. Okay? Again, when you are in a relationship with someone that only want to have sex with you. And you know I'm going to say this a third time, right, my brother and sister, because you know I said things in threes, and I said things in threes because I want to be impressed on your conscience so you can see where I'm going with and you won't get lost or none of this. So a lot of time when people repeat things 3 times, it's a reason why. It's not that they're being repetitive. It's just that a person, and me, myself, I want you to really get where I'm coming from so you can retain it, okay? Again, the topic, when you're in a relationship with someone that only wants to have sex with you. Now, my brothers and sisters, there are a lot of relationships out there where there's some men that only want to have sex with the woman. And then there's some relationship whereas the woman wants to have sex with the man. It could go either way. So we're going to talk about the United States of America. We're going to narrow it down to our place, basically. And I know other countries could be looking at their broadcast. I don't know, but some can. But we're going to use the United States as an example, okay? Now, but before we use the United States as an example, we got to lay the foundations, right? We're going to lay the foundation tonight, and you know how we lay the foundation down. I have to go to God's word first. We lay down the foundation, then we talk about the particular topic. 1 Corinthians 6:18. Again, at 1 Corinthians 6:18, 1 Corinthians 6:18, it said, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commit are outside the body, but whosoever have sexual sin against his own body or her own body. Now, do not you know, my brothers and sisters, that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? And who is you whom you have received from God? You are not your own, my brothers and sisters. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. Now, my brothers and sisters, there's nothing wrong with having sex. Let's go ahead and put this out there. Some people think that, oh, you don't need to talk about that, or, ooh, that's a taboo subject. No, no, no. Outside of the topic about God, my brothers and sisters, the two most prevailing topics out there, what the world talk about in general, and like I said, I narrowed it down to the United States of America. Outside of God, the two prevailing conversation outside of that is money and sex. You could, different men, different women, they're going to either talk about money or sex, or they're going to talk about both of them. Some people might talk about money more, or some people might talk about sex more, but money and sex have a place in this world outside, well, right behind God, okay? And God is the one, my brother and sister, he created money, he created the trees, right? And he created the resources, the material and stuff like that, minerals and stuff, and also it's come to sex. So sex, my brother and sister, there's nothing wrong with sex. God created sex, but God created sex whereas he wanted to be used basically for two reasons, and that is for to reproduce, and it's also for man and woman to be more intimate with one another, besides the communication and other things. So it has its place. But according to God, my brother and sister, he preferred for a man and woman to be married. God preferred for a man and woman to be married. And I know, my brother and sister, I'm going to say me for one example. I did not do it God's way. A lot of you didn't do it God's way. A lot of you still are not doing it God's way. Before, you know, in time past, my brother and sister, when it comes to fleeing from sexual immorality, I did not flee from sexual immorality. I ran to it, okay? I ran to it like a whole bunch of you people. And when I say ran to it, some people run into it could be one or two times, right? But you ran into it. You did not run away from it. But the Bible wants us to flee from sexual immorality if we aren't in the right type of relationship. Now, according to 1 Corinthians 7:9, 1 Corinthians 7:9, 1 Corinthians 7:9, but if you cannot control yourself, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. You understand, my brother and sister? Again, in 1 Corinthians 7:9, it said, but if you cannot contain yourself or themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. You see, my brother and sister, you got to understand this. If you have a desire to have sex, that's on the basic part. If you have a desire to have sex, my brother and sister, it tells you, nature tells you that you're supposed to be married. Because according to God's word, it said, if you cannot control yourself, if you cannot control yourself, it is better to marry than to burn. You see, God give us permission to have sex because we got that passion in us. Some of us got that passion in us. You know what I mean, my brother and sister? So if you enjoy having sex, you, my brother, your body is telling you, not only God's word telling you that it's okay to have sex if you do it his way, your body tell you, my brother and sister, that you supposed to get married. You see, when you have sex, it's not just for recreation. Most people use sex as far as recreation, okay? And that's more about me, myself, and I. But sex don't supposed to really be about recreation, my brother and sister. It's supposed to be about reproducing likeness. A man and woman get together and reproduce children, other male and female, and it's a thing that's set aside for a husband or wife so they could be more intimate with one another. Now, this basically means that if both the man and the woman is struggling, brother and sister, you can struggle with your sexual appetite. And no man, no woman should press the other into having sex until they are in the right type of relationship at the right time. So this is another issue, my brother and sister. There are some men that pressure women into having sex. They give women like an ultimatum. If you don't do it, you know, I'm going to go. They verbally tell the woman, I'm going to go get it from someone else. Or the woman might press the man and say, is this something wrong with you? Or do you like the same type of, do you have a thing for men? You know, some women will throw that out there, some men, to challenge men, to pressure men to have a sex, because a lot of time when a man don't approach a woman for sex, how this society is, a lot of time when men don't even discuss the topic of sex or approach the woman, some women, they have the idea is something wrong with him. He don't talk about sex. It's something peculiar about that guy. So some women would test you, brothers. Now, sexual passion normally start from puberty. That's what sexual passion normally start around puberty, and it increase in the body when it comes more mature. So as a youth is growing up, he or she is going to discover some things that going on within the body. Now the sexual nature, the sexual desire is natural, my brother and sister, but you don't want to reach the stage of lust when those hormones start kicking in. That's when it could start, when the hormones start kicking in, and that's the rage in your body. It go rapid in your body. You know what I mean? Especially when you're younger. God, my brother and sister, God actually wants a man and a woman that are burning with sexual passion to pray to him for his or her will, for his will to be done. That's what God wants you to do. When you know you have the sexual passion, my brother and sister, he still wants you to pray to him for his will to be done in your life. Also, my brother and sister, if you have this sexual passion, you need to pray to God to bring you a life partner into your life, to be a part of your purpose and for that sexual gratification in your life. Now, again, the topic for tonight: when you are in a relationship with someone that only want to have sex with you. Now, let's talk, my brother and sister. Are you currently in a relationship, my brother and sister, or actively talking to someone? You might not call yourself in a relationship, but yeah, you could call yourself in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, live together, the boo-boo call and all that kind of stuff. But you notice, you really notice this, my brother and sister, that someone only want to have sex with you. That man or that woman, they only want to have sex with you. When you really think about it, since we're talking about this tonight, my brother and sister, just think about this. Does that man or does that woman really want you for who you are, or want you for what you can give to him or her? Just think about it. Does this man and woman just look at you as, I want to have an animalistic relationship with you? That's a new Ebonic term I have thrown out there. Does that man or woman just want to have an animalistic relationship with you? That means sniff you and then just bam, 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 thank you, ma'am. So, my brother and sister, when it comes to the sex part, let me tell you, and some of you, what I'm about to say is nothing new, what I'm about to say. Now, this is a typical example of how some men would do it. This is a typical example. For those of you that are coming in tonight, the topic is when you're in a relationship with someone that only wants to have sex with you. Now, my brother and sister, you know, when you really think about it, since I'm bringing it to your attention, I want you to bring it out your subconscious, bring it into your conscious, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most of the time, men normally initiate going after sex. Now, there are some aggressive women out there. Women might think about it, and some of them are verbal, and they will say something about it, right? They might bring it to the man's attention, but I know some The two scenarios that I'm about to bring up to you, brother and sister, you have probably seen this before. Now, from the man's standpoint, this is just a typical thing. Sisters, let's set the stage tonight. Let's set the stage tonight. Sister, you are at home, reading a book, looking at TV, late at night, and your phone ring. Or you might get a text with Lisa said, "No men get my cook until married." All right, Sister Lisa Lord. The man call you, and what does the conversation normally go? Let's role play and see how the conversation goes. Hello. What you doing? Key thing, what you doing? What you are doing. And that's one of the opening lines for a lot of guys. What you are doing. How you doing, Sister Patton? Yeah, what you doing? I was just thinking about you. He was just thinking about you at 12, 1, and 2 in the morning. He was just thinking about you. Are you, do you feel like me coming through? Do you feel like me coming through? Why is it he called you to say what you doing normally at 12, 1, 2 in the morning? What more than likely, if a person is not working on that time, more than likely, not all the time, that person might be in the bed. Sister Connie said booty call. Yeah, basically that's what it is, a boo-boo call. So, yeah, we sleeping. Okay, Sister Lee. Do you mind if I come through? Or he could act like he's out there anyway, driving, and can I come through? So, and you see, the thing about it is this. You sisters know. You know why that man calling you at night. Do you really think that man just want to come through just to hang out with you at that time in the morning? No, sister, you know. And in a lot of times, sister, when men talk to you, just follow me, sister. A lot of time when men talk to you, but brothers, hold tight. I'm gonna flip around on the sister short. I'm gonna flip around because they got their little thing what they do too. So, sister, tell me this. Sister Sherry said he ain't no truck. Let me see what you say. Let me see. Y'all talking now, ain't you? How you doing, Sister Twyla? So when that man come through, do you, like I said, do you think he just want to look at TV with you at that time? No, he's not coming through. Tell me this, sister. Just think about it. When you see this man, have you ever noticed that basically most of the time when he call you or text you, it's basically about sex? Have you noticed a lot of times when he doesn't contact you, he doesn't contact you until the sexual part come up? How you doing, Sister Gloria Glover? How you doing, sister? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that that's the only conversation he talked to you about? He might not specifically say, I want to have sex with you. Now, there are some guys that they use colorful language to let you know straight up that's what they want you to do. But then a lot of guys, they won't say it, but in their minds that's what all they want to do with you. And a lot of you sisters, you know it. So what happens? Sometime at the beginning of a relationship, a lot of relationships normally start with the man and woman having sex, and then that man and woman, if they're interested in one another, then they try to learn more about one another after the sex part have been, the question, that box have been checked. But when most men, not all men, but most men, sister, when they only talk to you about sex, and just check this out, What else does that man do with you? You're going to have to think, sister. You got to think tonight. What else does this man do with you besides sex? Sisters, you are responsible if you allow the relationship to just center around sex. That's on you. It's not on the man. That's on you, because you are the gatekeeper. You are the gatekeeper to your body. So it doesn't have to be that way. So when this man has sex with you, and you know what I'm about to say, some of you know what I'm about to say, you realize, sister, after a while, let's say at the beginning, you and this man said, let's just see where it go. You don't have no destination. It's open. That's another thing, sister, that you allow to happen. When a man tell you, just let's see where this go. Or if a man say, I just came out of a relationship and I just don't want to be serious, or any other kind of excuse, but it comes down to, say, answer the question, sister. Have he ever taken you anywhere? Let's think about this. Have he ever taken you anywhere? Or is your relationship from your home to his home? Or from his home to a hotel, to your home to a hotel? To being in the car, or whatever he decide to do with that. That's all your relationship. He don't talk to you about nothing else. The conversation that he have, it don't have no substance to it. He might beat around the bush and he just want to have sex with you. He talk to you nice. He do a lot of things. Then there are some guys, sister, they might take you out. Let's talk about some guys, they might do something for you. How you doing, Sister Scott? Some guys, they might do something for you. But a lot of men, when they do things for you, sister, like if a man take you out to eat, just to eat, or take you to a movie or something, most of the time, sister, you got to realize this too. If you notice this, every time you and that guy go out, it ends up where he want to have sex with you. Have you ever noticed that? It ends up where he want to have sex with you. So some of you think that when a man take you out, and you think, I'm not talking about most men, I'm not talking about all men. So sister, do you actually think that majority of the men just want to take you out to spend his money on you? I said most, I didn't say all. I'm putting a little, I'm just giving you a scenario. And I'm trying to open your minds up, sister. Do you really think that majority of the men just want to take you out just to learn about you? Not majority of the men. Majority of the men, let me tell you this, sister. Majority of the men, they want to have sex with you, if possible, on the first outing, if possible. Most men, and the magical number is 3. Most men, I didn't say all men. Most men, magical number is 3. Because most men, they look at it like, I'm losing my money. So when a man is doing the thing for you, most men, not all men, if he just primarily want to have sex with you, this man is kind of cost. That's why today, my sister, most guys, they don't want to take you out nowhere. If they take you out, just listen to where they want to take you at. They will prefer to meet you at a bar to have drinks. They will say, well, just meet me to have drinks. Or they would prefer to go walking with you or something like that. The reason why most men do this is they pulling back on the resources, money. Because on the flip side of it, a lot of guys know that a lot of women, and I'm just telling you the truth, a lot of guys know that a lot of women, they out for just to use the man for his resources, to take him out and all that kind of stuff. So you got usury on both sides. You have some men trying to use some different tactics to get to the sex part of the woman, and then you got a lot of women that they probably are planning on having sex with the man, but he got to pay to play. And some of you, and you all know what I'm talking about. Some of you sisters, just be real. It's some sisters, I'm not talking about you all. There are some sisters that out there, when I say sister, keep in mind, I'm not talking about black and white. I'm talking about this go over different races. They go over different races. Some women, they pretend that they like the man to get a free meal. They do all that because they know a lot of women, they dangle the carrot in front of the man. They know the man want to have sex with them, right? So what they do is take the opportunity to get that man to invest and take them somewhere. And some women will get to the point where they tell the man that he's cheap. So I'm telling you, some of you sisters, you need to understand this. Most of the time when a man take you out, you need to know this now. How you doing, Sister Jane? That most men that take you out, whether they verbally tell you or not, they want to have sex with you between the first, second, and third time. First is the better option for most men. Because you sister got to understand this. Men have the ability to separate, quote unquote, their mind and emotion from the act itself. Whereas there are some women that try to do it too. But then, since women are more emotional, the women tend to be more clingy after the act itself. That's how our makeup, I see it appear. For those of you that coming in, the topic for tonight is when you're in a relationship with someone that only want to have sex with you. Now, I said that about the men. Now let me flip it around on the women. A lot of times, there are brothers. A lot of times, there are women out there that just want to have sex with you and they don't want nothing else to do with you. They don't want nothing else to do with you. Some of these women, they could be in a relationship or they might not be in a relationship. They got everything going on. And this is a typical script how some women do it. This is a typical, it's some more. I have seen some more, but this is a typical script how some women do it. Just like this. And this is when a woman, she's contemplating on having sex with a man, but she's trying to find a way. Because most of the time, women aren't that direct. Now, there are some women that are direct, but there are some women that they throw things out there and they hope the man can read between the lines. Check it out. Hey, I was just thinking about you. This is they playing in their house, brothers. I was just thinking about you. How was your day? Whew. What's wrong? I feel so stressed. I had a hard day. If I could just get a good massage. You need a massage? Ooh, yes. If I could get a good massage in, I think I'd feel better. If you need a massage, I could do that for you if you want me to come through. You don't mind? I tell you what time are you coming by so I could go ahead? I need to freshen up. And by what time you coming through? Time you hang up the phone, I'll be coming through. You so funny. You stay on the other side of town. Bet, I'm on my way. Okay, give me about 40 minutes to an hour. I got to go take a shower. Okay? Ta-ta. Click. Brothers, what she does now? She got several things that she could do. She could have been talking to some of her girlfriends about she interested in you to discover what you can do with your manhood. Because a lot of times women discuss that kind of stuff, especially brother, if you haven't said anything about the sex, if you haven't brought up the sexual thing, she's wondering, because some women, like I said a little earlier, some women will ask, they wondering, because so many women, they so accustomed, brother, to men coming off to them on a sexual way, but you are a rarity. If you don't talk about sex, you don't never bring it up, there are some women that will test you, okay? Okay, they might tell their girlfriend, cause sometimes they could be with their girlfriends, and they women talk about sex too, brother. Don't think that they don't talk about sex. They talk about sex just as much as men talk about sex. They could be talking, the girlfriend, they be talking about all that kind of stuff, and they giggle and all that kind of stuff. But she go take a shower, and she wait for you to come. Or better yet, she might tell you that she will come through over to your home, right? And let me tell you how a lot of women do it, how a lot of them do it. They will say, a lot of time, now just check this out, brother. You got to check out some of these subtle signs that some women do. Some women, when they think that they're about to have sex, what the classic thing they'll do? I got to go to the restroom. I got to go to the restroom. Why do you think they're going to the restroom? Why do you think they're going to the restroom, brother? Sometimes they might have to sit on the toilet and urinate, but a lot of time, they going to check out things before they do something. And these sisters know what I'm talking about. Some of them, they go out to check up on something before they do it, right? Long as the man don't say nothing stupid or do nothing stupid. If he don't say nothing stupid or whatever. Now we get into the massage part, right? Brother, why do you think women use the thing about massage, right? Because a lot of them, they don't want to directly tell you that they just want to have sex with you. They don't want to do it. So what do? They say it in a way whereas you can start touching their bodies, right? That's what a lot of them do. I'm just giving some scenarios. They do it, and you touching their bodies, right? You're touching their body. And you notice this too, brother. One, when you're touching a woman's body, when it's just for sex, sometimes they will tell you what to touch. And sometimes they will let you know how it feels when you touch them, right? So you being a man, they counting on you being a man. They counting on you be a typical. They counting on you be a typical man, right? That's what they're thinking about. So they let your hand wander and stuff. That's what they do. They let your hand wander and stuff. And when you get to a certain part of their anatomy, if they don't want you to keep doing something, what they're gonna do, if they want you to stop doing something, they're gonna verbally tell you, or they might just move their hand, and they might, like if you going down lower and lower, they might just move your hand in a way like, nah, that ain't what I really want you to do. But a lot of time when they don't move your hand and stuff, they just gonna see how far you gonna go. And when you keep exploring their body and they don't flinch or nothing like that, that's a way where a lot of women use the massage thing to let you know that they just want to have sex. Now, to top it again, and that's just a scenario, when you're in a relationship with someone that only wants to have sex with you, when you're in a relationship with someone that only want to have sex with you, my brother and sister, they really don't talk about nothing else. When you do, you will notice that every time you and that person call, the conversation be the same. It be the same thing over and over and over again. Nothing new. Nothing new at all. It's going to be the same stuff. And my brothers, you will be able, the conversation she's going to talk about when she just want to have sex with you. Some of you, sister, the conversation what he's going to have sex with you. You all going to find yourself doing the same routine thing over and over again. It's going to be predictable. So when a person just want to have sex with you, that's it. And there are some relationships right now, my brother and sister, as I speak, there are some relationship. The man and the woman, they just been having sex for years. they've been having sex for 20, 30, 40 years, and they're not even in a, the man could be in a relationship, the man could be married, the woman could be married, or the man could quote unquote have a woman, a girlfriend, or the man or the woman could have a boyfriend. But there's some, they just meet up just to have sex. They know that it's not going to be nothing. So when they know that it's not going to be nothing, that's why I call it, it's that animalistic behavior. That's all it is, animalistic behavior. That's all they want to do. How you doing, Sister Cynthia? And I'm telling you, my brother and sister, eventually, you're going to start thinking, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this? My brother and sister, when you should get to a point whereas you want to do something more with your body than just having sex with somebody. Because if you notice this, you got that tie to that person anyway, and you could have what is called some fire-like sex, right? But it ties you together, but it's not doing anything for you. So if you just, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, my brother and sister, and you having sex with someone outside of the relationship with someone else, I mean, especially if you do it on a consistent basis, okay? If you do it on a consistent basis, you taking away a lot from that person that you're really with if you do it on a consistent basis, right? And you know that person just want to have sex with you. That person don't care nothing about you. To tell you the truth, when a person just want to have sex with you, my brother, so that could be a male and female, he or she doesn't want to have nothing to do with you. Let's talk now. Included in this is dating. Dating. When it comes to dating, my brother and sister, this is what I recommend for you, so you could cut out the sexual part. You ain't even got to hardly deal with it. This is my recommendation, but you do it your way. You do it your way, sister, but this is my recommendation. Today's time, sister, my recommendation is when you go out with a man, this is just my recommendation, but you can do whatever you choose to do. This is just my recommendation. My recommendation is you go Dutch. I know a lot of you don't want to hear what I'm saying, but my recommendation is you go Dutch, because I'm telling you, whether a man said or not, most of the time the man coming out his pocket. Now some would play the good guy thing and say, no, I'm a man, I'm a man supposed to do this. A lot of times, sister, that just be a bunch of acting. Some of you sisters have met some Grammy award winning men. Some men that go around and say, I'm the man, and the man's supposed to pay for the dinner and everything. I mean, if a man invites you out to eat, you need to, sister, I'm telling you, sister, you need to let that man know in a nice way, okay, I will go out to have dinner with you, but I'm not expecting to have sex. However you want to say it, tell him. Tell him. You are an adult, he's an adult. Just go ahead so this man can stop spending all his money being a good actor, where he could win a Grammy and a Tony and stuff like that. I'm telling you, some of you sisters, you have been out with some guy that it appeared to you that he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy because he paid the dinner, and when you wanted to when you wanted to pay the tip or something like that, he said, oh, no. I do everything. Yeah, some guys do it. Some guys are sincere about it, but majority of them not sincere because they want something on the back end. And some of you sisters, I don't understand, but you're not a man. That's what I understand. You're not a man, but a lot of men, they would spend money on you just to get to it. There are some men that don't want to spend no money, and then there are some men that will spend money. So the safe thing, and this is just my recommendation, sister, the safe thing is you say like, hey, we can meet, we can go out, but I pay for mine and you pay for yours. Now, to be realistic with you, my brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship that where the man and woman is serious, committed in a covenant relationship, that's when I talk about the wife and husband. They do their thing because they know whether they're gonna have sex whenever they get ready anyway, because God allows sex to take place in a marriage. But when it's outside of a marriage, sex is gonna have a play, because men in general, majority of men like to have sex, and majority of women have sex, but it's the right way to do it in the right time. And the right time is for you to do it God's way. Because I tell you, my brother and sister, I have done it. I have ignored doing it God's way. The sex part. You see, when I talk to you, sister and brother, you got to understand this. You got to understand this. I myself know the game. I myself have heard other brothers, and I myself have heard other sisters talk. I know the game, my brother and sister. I know this game. You see, when it comes to game, the game is the same. You just have different players in the game. You have different players that sit around the poker table with poker face. If you notice the game of poker, if you're looking at somebody's face a lot of time, they really don't give you too much. That's how it is on this particular topic. You have a lot of poker players that play the game. And I'm not talking about a card game. I'm talking about doing the player thing. So when you sit at a poker table, you either going to do one or two things. You're going to win or you're going to lose. When it comes to playing the game, everybody that sit at the table try to outsmart one another. You have men and you have women that try to outsmart one another. Most of the time when it comes to game, the game is about me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. What do men really want from women? Majority of men just want to have sex with women. After the sex part, sister, I need to tell you this. Most of y'all, you need to listen to what I'm saying. Don't hear me listen. Sister, I'm telling you, by listening to some guys, your education really don't mean nothing to a lot of men. Your money really don't mean nothing to a lot of men. Your house don't really mean a lot to men and all that kind of stuff. Your degrees don't mean too much to men. I'm just telling you. Now, some men might say, oh, that's impressive and stuff, but really, that's really not important with most men. I didn't say all men. I said most men. A lot of that stuff, sister, most men don't even think about that. Most men, and as of today, majority of the men, sister, that you're running into, they really don't want to get married. Majority of them, they really don't want to get married. They just want to have a good time. And if you allow these men to have a good time, sisters, they're going to continue to have a good time. And I'm speaking to some of you sisters tonight. I'm talking directly to some of you sisters tonight. You might have been dating a man for over 2 years, which is too long, I would say anyway. You have been dating a man over 2 years. You've been talking to him. You have taken him around your family, your friend. Everybody look at you as a couple. You all doing things that married people probably doing. He might stay in his place, you staying in your place, and he playing the husband role. That's all he's doing. He's playing the husband role. If he's not married to you, he's playing the husband role. Even if he said he's serious committed. He might be serious committed, but he's just doing 2/3 of the pie. When you have a pie, you slicing it to 3 pieces. It's 1/3, and the other third. So what he's doing, he's being serious and he's said he's committed, but he won't eat that final piece of the pie where he's in a covenant relationship with you. Now that's where God come in at. God wants him to eat that last slice of the pie, but he won't do it. You see, the thing about it, sister, is this: you got to listen to what I'm saying. You got to take this in. You're going to have to somewhat bring your emotion down and listen, your analytics, sister, and see that this man that you've been dating all this time, and y'all doing everything like quote unquote married people doing, but you're not married. Especially some of you that been dating these guys for 10 and 20 years, this man ain't planning on marrying you. More than likely, as time go on, the chances of you getting married to this one particular man, it go down. Now, Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. But if you notice this, he still want to have sex with you. Sex, from God's standpoint, my brother and sister, you all know what I'm saying. Sex is the covenant part of the relationship. And you got to understand that this go for me and all of you, my brothers and sisters. This go for you. You see, just because you and this man having sex, and more than likely you and this man having sex in the privacy of his home, in the privacy of your home, in the privacy of the home that you and him sharing together. No one else is around, so you think, but there is someone around. Let me tell you what's around and you don't see it. There's this spiritual world. You see, we got this spiritual world and this material world that collide. That's in coexistence. Do you not realize, my brother and sister, and this go for me too, what I wasn't thinking about because I tried to block it out of my mind. Do you not realize, my brother and sister, that Jesus be watching you as you having sex, sister? Do you not realize Jesus is watching you? You're thinking about you don't want your children or other people to think that you having sex. The same thing, brother. Do you not know that Jesus is watching you? You think that it's private. I don't mean to scare none of you all tonight. I'm just bringing the reality in. Jesus watching you. If nobody else is watching, you might not want your children, sister. If you got your children, you don't want your children thinking mama that getting her stellar groove on do. You don't want your children, and some of you brothers, you don't want your children thinking that. You want your children thinking you the good deacon and elder in the wherever you attend worship service, right? But brothers and sisters, you burning the sheets. So I know what burning the sheets like. I have walked down that road before. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to crave to have sex, my brother and sister. I know that craving. It's a craving that is natural. It's nothing wrong with the craving. Some of you that's right now looking at me, some of you sister brother, you having high craving. If you go to the filling station, some of you brothers and sisters, they got regular, unleaded, premium, and diesel. A lot of you all using diesel right now. High octane. You using that diesel. That's how your body craving sex. I know I was using diesel at one time. I know you all look at me and y'all think I ain't never did nothing. You see, when I talk to you, my brother and sister, I talk to you from a man that is not perfect. I'm not perfect. Don't ever think that I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. But I got a relationship with God now. And I seen it in that area quite a bit, my brother and sister. Like a lot of you seeing in that area as we speaking. Because like I said, outside of talking about God, the two most popular topics is sex and it's money. So we talking about the sexual part tonight. So my brother and sister, let me tell you this. When you're in a relationship with someone that only want to have sex with you, let me tell you what happening. You're draining yourself. You don't realize that you're draining yourself. What you do, the man, he comes to you, he just wants to climax, okay? How you doing, Sister Enya? I'm late, but I'm right on time. Sister Enya, the topic for tonight, when you're in a relationship with someone that only wants to have sex with you. Now, my brother and sister, when it comes to sex, when it's somebody that just want to have sex with you, at the beginning, it might seem exciting, right? It might be exciting because, and then you're trying to feel that person out, then you're going to get used to that person when you having sex with him or her. But you see, it's going to come to a time, especially with women. Let me give you a scenario. Like a lot of time when men tell women, let's just see where it go. And the woman might agree, okay, we'll see where it go. So you start doing things, you start hanging out as a couple, right? Then they get to the sex part. Now, sister, this is what you all need to keep in mind what a lot of you fail to do. A lot of you fail to do this. I'm not only talking about the word of sister, I'm talking about some of my sisters that are looking at me right now. This is what a lot of you probably fail to do. When you and this man get together, and y'all doing all this goody stuff, you traveling together, you as a couple, people recognize you as a couple, right? You say you're serious, you say you're committed, but you're not married, okay? So you having these bomb type sexual activity. Y'all doing double monkey back flips, you swinging from the chandelier, you doing all that kind of stuff, right? And then what happened? Y'all do all these creative things in the bed or in the living room or wherever y'all decide to do it at. And it's just a momentary time, right? The man ultimate thing, let me tell you what, you brother and you sister shortchange yourself. The ultimate thing is the man, most men, their primary objective is to get an ejaculation. That's the objective of most men. Most men really don't care whether you're gonna climax or not, sister. Most men really don't care. I just need to throw that out there. Most men don't care. Now there are some Romeo type men out there. There's some Romeo men or some Don Juan men out there. They say that they could please women and stuff, and they go and they try to do certain things to manipulate your body, like your clitoris and all that kind of stuff. And you all know what I'm talking about. So they try to do that, right? And some of you sisters, when a man know how to manipulate your clitoris and all that kind of stuff, you fall in love. Because no other man have been able to do certain things what this guy doing, what Rico doing, right? So now you in a bona fide one-sided relationship with Rico. Rico told you at the beginning that he just want to see where it go. You agreed to it. So one day, my brother and sister, you, sister, and Rico are in the bed after one of y'all hot and steaming sexual activity thing, right? So you're and Rico in the bed, and I have did this before. I'm going to do it again. You see, after y'all finish, y'all breathing hard, you're sweating and all that kind of stuff. So Rico fall from off the top of you, and he's laying there with his hand behind his head, and he just looking at the ceiling, and he's saying, "Woo, woo, that was good. Woo, that was so good." But what Rico did not realize when he was on top of you, Rico told you that he loved you, right? So while Rico is laying here with his hand behind his head looking at the ceiling, and then you prop your butt up, you prop your elbow up on the pillow, and you like this, and you look down at Rico, and you say, did you mean what you say? What did I say? You said you love me. Now, this is a sidebar thing. Rico gonna think, but he gonna say something different, okay? Rico thinking, what you all don't know because you can't read Rico's mind. I told her I love her. I really told her I love her. This is what Rico thinking. He doing this in a split second. I did tell her I love her. And what Rico gonna naturally do? He's gonna lie. He's going to look at you. He's going to look you dead in your eyes and say, yes, I love you. You see, sister, what you got to understand is when Rico told you that he loved you, Rico did not love you. Rico enjoyed that lustful feeling that he was getting fulfilled from you. So, sister, if a man really, really love you, he would go to the next level with you. You got to think, my sister. Let's do the math. 1 + 1 always equal 2. It never equal 3. So Rico got you believing in the fuzz in math that 1 + 1 = 3, but it doesn't. So when Rico was on top of you doing what he was doing, and he telling you he loved you and all that kind of stuff, he don't love you enough to put a ring on it. He doesn't love you enough to get married to you. And I know some brothers are going to get angry at me and all that kind of stuff, but I'm telling you the mentality of most men. I didn't say all men, because there are some people, like I always said, that they started off having sex and they end up getting married. But that's a very small percentage. So some guys, they'll just live the life of playing the role of a husband, and you play the role of a wife. And let me tell you this, brothers, when it comes to some of the women that just want to have sex with you, sometimes, brother, when a woman have sex with you, just want to have sex with you, a lot of these women, they could take care of themselves. A lot of women, they could take care of themselves, and the only thing that they want from you is sex. There are a lot of women that say that they don't want a relationship, and a lot of sisters, brother, you need to believe this. Some sisters, they try to operate like men, and they don't want to get attacked. If you all remember this, movie called that movie that Eddie Murphy was in. Who else was in it? Robin Gibbons and Halle Berry. You remember that movie called Boomerang? You all remember that? You remember when Marcus, Eddie Murphy character, he was the ladies' man, right? He was used to playing game on women. He was the master of playing game. He was one of the poker players at the table, right? He was a poker player, right? Yeah, he was a poker player, right? And so he met Robin Gibbons character. That's what he met. He met Robin Gibbons character, right? But he was not accustomed to dealing with a player like him. So what did Robin Gibbons mean? And you all know what a boomerang is, right? The reason a boomerang, like when you throw a boomerang out, what does it do? What does it do? It goes out and it comes back in. So what Marcus did, he threw that boomerang out his play style, and then guess what? Robin Gibbons, she threw a back too. And you all notice this too. Robin Gibbons character, she was acting like how a man would do, right? What she did. They went to New Orleans, right? They went to New Orleans for some type of conference, right? They was into advertising, right? Remember that scene when Robin Gibbons' room was right across from Marcus' room in the hotel, right? Remember he was playing like he had a problem with his key. You know, like she was standing at her door about to go in, but then he went to his room, the door of his room, he acted like he had a problem with the key, right? And that was a game. And you all know that was game. So she did what he wanted him to do. So she said, come in for a moment. So he turned around and he went over there to her, right? So you all know the rest of the story, they end up having sex, right? The thing about this, like some guys do it too. It ain't only a woman thing, it's a guy thing. What did Eddie Murphy do? Eddie Murphy character caught feelings, because it could flip on men too. It could flip on men. And then what did Robin Gibbons do? She played the role of a man. She had him sprung, like T-Pain had that song out years ago. She had him sprung, right? And remember when Eddie Murphy, when he said, you remember when she had said she was going out of town, right? She said she was going out of town. As a matter of fact, you brothers, so y'all ought to check Boomerang. It's an entertaining movie, by the way. But anyway, she went out of town, and he had bought, played him. So that right, Sister Glory. He was waiting. He had bought these concert tickets, right? And she did not show up. She didn't call him or nothing, right? At all. She didn't let him know nothing at all. She was doing her thing, right? And he was looking at the clock and everything. He ended up not going to the show. He had paid a whole bunch of money for the tickets, right? So he ended up calling around and stuff, right? The plane that Robin Gibbons was supposed to be coming back on, she had been back. She didn't think nothing about those tickets or nothing. She been back. She ghosted him. That's another thing, my brother and sister. When it comes to somebody that won't have sex with you, they will ghost you because they know they got you sprung. Listen to that song by T-Pain. She had him sprung, right? So when she did come over to his house, she was still playing that game because she knew she was in his head, right? She came there with this coat on, right? And she just had on a brassiere and her panties on, that Victoria's Secret. So she went to Victoria and got her Victoria's Secret on. So she opened up the coat when he was acting like he was all upset and stuff like that, right? So once she opened up that coat, it was on and popping, right? So what did she do? She do what some men do. Sisters, some of you have witnessed this before. Some of you have lived through this experience. Have some of you sisters, I know you, I'll tell you this. Which one of you sisters gonna confess to this? Which one of you will confess to this? Which one of you? Before I ask this question, you see how open I am with you sisters and brothers. I'm open with you sisters and brothers, right? Now, which one of you have been in a position where you had sex with a man and he got up once he was finished with you and he was ready to go? Which one of you will confess to everyone else that, and I know this asking a lot, which one of you have experienced it before where you felt used? You felt used after the man had sex with you, or the man had sex with you. But for the sake of the show, a man, he finished doing what he's doing, and you felt that great detachment, right? Which one of you sisters have had sex with a man and you were looking for a phone call shortly thereafter? You were looking for a text shortly thereafter, but he did not call you or text you in a mental time that you had set for him. A day could have went by, days could have went by. You asked him to call you when he get home. He didn't call you. But when he did call you, it was about getting ready to come back to see you again, or when we could quote unquote hook up. But back to Boomerang movie. You remember when Robin Gibbon had sex with Eddie Murphy, his character Mark. You remember after she finished what she did? She did what some men do. She got up, she put on her clothes, and what did he do? The roles were reversed. He basically asked her, where you going? You see, he was expecting for her to stay there with him for the night. No, she wasn't going to do that. And she told him she was leaving, right? So he looked on his dress, on that little nightstand, and he seen that she had paid for the tickets. So what was she saying? The only thing I want to do with you is have some fun, like the barcade. Do what you want to. Do it, everyone. Do what you want to. Let's have some fun. That's all she did. So he couldn't say nothing. That's why she went ahead and paid for the ticket. What was Robin doing when Robin probably with another man? We didn't see that, but more than likely he was not top on. And then what did Robin do? That's right. Wham bam, thank you, man. That's right. What else did Robin do? She had him strung out so much that he could not see her until she got ready to see him. He would call, he would look at the phone. You all remember that scene. He was in his office and he had a little pen and he was just going around his seat. He was doing like this, looking at the phone. And then her secretary man called him to schedule for appointment. That's another thing. When people schedule you for appointment, what do I mean by scheduling for appointment? Other than sex, they don't want to see you. They pencil you in. If you ask this man or this woman, when can we get together? They always busy. And you notice this, they always have other people and things to do, right? But they pencil you in. They might not say you pencil in, but they pencil you in mentally because what? You at the last of the food chain. You at the last of the food chain, so when they contact you, you jump. And they used to you jump because they are the puppet master and you are the puppet. I know that game. Being the puppeteer and then you have the puppet. I know that game. I know it. 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 So you brothers and sisters, are you on the schedule? This is a schedule. He or she they don't contact you until they just want to hook up. And you know what I'm talking about being hooked up. That's the only time they want to do something, just to hook up. And you notice when y'all hook up, my brother and sister, that you don't see them like you want to see them. You really notice that. You ever notice this too, my brother and sister, that there's someone that really want to be in a relationship with you, in a full-fledged relationship, but you don't want him, sister. You don't want the good guy. He too nice. Or some of you brothers, you don't want that woman. She too homely. The homely woman she want to do so much for you. And this good guy over here, he want to do so much for you, sister. But guess what? Most of the time, when a man and woman got you on a schedule, they more than likely running after somebody else. And guess what? It's a cycle. More than likely, somebody got them on a string. So they got you on a string, and somebody got them on a string. Have you ever noticed this, my brother and sister, how you could be scheduled a date with someone and they drop it at the last minute? Something important came up, right? You had your hopes up so high for that date that Friday night, and then they called you. Or that Friday night came and they were supposed to come pick you up, or you were supposed to meet them somewhere, and they didn't show. They didn't show at all. At all. Let me tell you all this. There's a friend that I know. She talked to this guy. And let me tell you this. She met this guy on Black People Meet. As a matter of fact, my brother and sister, I have been on Black People Meet before. I have been on a dating site. I have. But speaking of dating site, and I must admit, I have met some pretty cool sisters on a dating site, but we didn't get married. You know, it wasn't to be. But I have met some nice sisters on the dating site. For those of you that got something against dating site, there's nothing wrong with a dating site. Nothing wrong to get to know someone, but you see, you don't get on no dating site just to have sex with somebody. That's what a lot of people use dating site for sex and money, instead of a relationship, okay? That's why a lot of people do it. They want to use somebody else, right? But back to what I was saying. This is a dating site situation. That was the sister that I knew. She stayed up north, and she would come to see this guy down south, right? And it wasn't me. So I want you all to know this was not me. If it were me, I would say it was me, but it's not me. Okay. Now, she left from up north, she came south, right? When she got on the plane and she came south, before that, she was talking to the guy regular, right? She would talk to the guy regular. So she came south, and she would call the guy when she was getting off the plane. The guy did not answer the phone. She texted him, he didn't do none of that. It just so happened that she had a relative in that same city. So what did she have to do? She had to go to that relative house and rebook herself and go back to where she came. She said that the guy called her a few days later. You know what she said he told her he had an emergency with his mama. Now this lady was coming into town, and he had he had an emergency with his mother. He still had a phone. He could have called that lady and told her something, and had somebody to pick her up or something like that. No. That's when I talk about how some people will use you for anything. They'll come up with other excuses because she was not high on his priority, which apparently meant that he had somebody else that more important to her. Now, he probably would have had sex with her, but somebody else had top priority. And I'm going to tell you this, my sister and brother, when someone just want to have sex with you, most of the time, it's someone else that got more priority than you. They're gonna invest more time in that individual than with you. They're gonna do more things with that person than you. I'm telling you, you sisters and brothers, you're gonna have to get to the point where you got to stop allowing yourself to be used just for sex. Your body, my brother and sister, as I said earlier, your body is the temple of Christ, the Holy Spirit, your body. Your body, my brother and sister, is very precious to the Lord. You got to get this in your head, and I had to get it in my head too. So don't think I've been knowing this. I had to get it in my head. My brothers and sisters, there's nothing wrong with having sex if you do it God's way at the right time. Those urges that you have, my brother and sister, is nothing wrong with those urges that you have. Sex is not dirty. Let's put that out. Sex is not dirty. Sex is fulfilling. Brother and sister, if you don't have sex the way God wants you to have it, or he desires you to have it, the only thing you can get out of it, my brother and sister, he ejaculate, and you climax, sister, if you don't fake it. Because you know how some of you sisters do. Y'all know how to manipulate y'all vagina wall and stuff to make the guy release himself. Y'all know how. I know about those tricks, my brothers and sisters, how some women, they manipulate their vagina wall to make the man hurry up and do it, especially if she don't want to be with him or whatever. It's so much hypocrisy in that kind of stuff. You know what I mean, my brother? It's so much hypocrisy in it. Your body, my brother and sister, if the Lord is in your body, he's in your body, even if your body craves for sex. If your body craves for sex, my brother and sister, that letting you know, your body tell you, like I said at the beginning of the show, that your body letting you know that you're supposed to be married. The Bible tell you that it's better to marry than to burn. It tells you that it's better to marry than to burn. That means burn with sexual passion. And I told you what you have to do. You have to pray for God's will in your life. And you have to pray to God for what you need. If you need to have sex, now sex is a part of relationship. It's not all relationship. If you need to have sex, you need to tell the Lord, look, Father, I need a wife. I need a wife to be my helpmeet, and I need a wife, not only the helpmeet. That's a key thing. I need a woman to be my helpmeet, and I need a woman that can express herself in a sexual way to me. You're going to have to talk straight to God, my brother and sister. You got to talk straight to him. You understand? And then some of you sisters, you have to pray to God like, Lord, I want to follow your will and stuff. And Lord, I want a man to find me. I don't want to go looking for a man. I want a man to find me so I could be a helpmeet and he could be the leader. And Lord, I need a man that when we do have sex, I want him to consider my feelings. I want him to think about we, us, and I. I don't want him just thinking about me, myself, and I. So when I give this man the body that I live in, because I know when I get married to him, his body is my body, and my body is his body. So I want out of his body to please me. I don't want him just getting on top of me, and in 2.2 seconds, it's over with because he would just think about himself, and he trying to blame me, talk about you shouldn't have did that. You know that. Let me tell you this. When you do it the right way, my brother and sister, let me tell you this. Listen carefully. When you having sex in the right way, my brother and sister, when you're doing it the right way, a man would think more about pleasing his wife than himself. Even though that man might get to a point where he want to release himself, ejaculate in a woman, he think more about he communicate to his wife. If his wife doing certain things and he's about to ejaculate in her, he could talk to her, and he could tell her something like, hey, you need to slow up, you need to stop, and she would listen. Because a lot of time when she listening to him, she worked with him on that. You know what I mean? She worked with him on it, even though she wanted to last a little longer. Because most women, if they're in a loving relationship with a man, they want to enjoy that real deep, passionate part and that intimacy with their husband. So when a man is intimate with his wife and he's doing it the right way, he's going to think more about, I'm just going to release myself into my wife. I got to please her. I want to take care of her before I do my thing. That's how a man's supposed to think. I want to make sure she's all right sexually before I let myself go. And like I told you, my brothers, if you have a problem restraining your essence, you need to be able to communicate with your wife. You need to tell her, You need to say, you need to slow down because I'm about to let it go. You need to stop because I'm about to let it go. And she will listen to you, even though she might be on her groove. Now, there are sometimes your woman might be on her groove and she ain't no stop. I'm just letting you brothers know. Sometimes she might be on her groove and she might not stop, because one thing about it, when a woman be on her groove, she don't want to kill that sensation. She might not. And I'm talking to you as an adult. She might not want to stop. So you brothers that have problems with restraining and holding yourself, what you need to do, you always need to be in a controlling position when it has sex. That means, like, if you're on top of her, you're in a controlling position, brother. If y'all do it in different positions, you need to be in a controlling position. Don't let her be in a controlling position if you have a problem holding your essence back. What do I mean by that? Some of you brothers, if you lay on your back and your wife straddle across you, and you know you have problems holding back, when she into her groove, you need to be able to communicate with her and tell her you need to stop doing what you're doing, or you need to slow up. Now, there's a possibility, like I said, she's into her groove. She might not stop. I'm talking about husband and wife now. I'm not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm not talking about living. I ain't talking about the booty call. I'm talking about doing it in the right way. Now, brother, if she's on top of you and she's doing something that you know you're about to snap, crack, and pop, you need to grab her by those hips and lock down so she can't move, so you could hold yourself, so you could calm down. And sometimes she will listen to you. You need to, if she don't understand what you're saying, brother, you need to go by the driver license place and get one of those driver license book, like you going to study for a test, and you give her that driver license book and you say, look, this is what yield means. This is what stop mean. Do you know what stop mean? This is, or you go to the dictionary. You say, stop mean this. Yield mean this. You have to communicate to your woman, brother. And sister, let me tell you this. If it's something that man, if you got a problem with the man, you need to discuss it. If he have a problem holding back, you need to have a discussion with him. Don't have no discussion with him when you're in the midst of expressing loyalty to one another. You need to talk to him outside of the bed. You married brothers and sisters, this is a conversation for you. You need to tell him, sister, look, I wish you would do this or that. And brother, you need to tell her what you wish for her to do. Sister, the worst thing you could do if your man is not pleasing you sexually, you go tell your girlfriend the stuff about him. Don't be telling your girlfriend about what he's not doing. You talk to him. That's what you do. You talk to him. And I'm telling you, when you do it the right way, my brother and sister, God will, because you got to understand this. If God is in the man and God is in the woman, you don't know what passionate sex is until you're in the right type of relationship. And I have said it before, it goes beyond the ejaculation. It goes beyond the climax. It's something that's deep and special. And if you're not doing it the right way, God is not going to let you experience what I'm talking about. And I call this the Utopia Effect. You don't know what it's like unless you do it God's way. When you do it God's way, you got to understand this. God is in that man. God is in that woman. God tell that man's soul what to do. God tell that woman's soul what to do. And that soul communicate to the body. Because a triune thing, you got the spirit when you're having sex, you have the soul when you're having sex, and you have the body. So the Lord knows, brother, what to tell you, because he knows what your wife need and want sexually. Sister, the Lord's spirit tell your soul what that man need sexually. Because the Lord created you both. That's why when it get translated to the body, that's why you have the utopian effect. You will not have the utopian effect unless you do it the right way, my brothers and sisters. And I mean, that's how it is. But guess what? I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you got something out of this. Don't let no one use you for sex only, my brother and sister. Your body is the temple of the Lord. Don't let nobody misuse your body. I'm telling you, my brother, so they go for men as well as women. Don't let nobody use your body for his or her own pleasure. Your body is important. It's all about you first before your body, my brother. So you understand that? I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Peace